referring to?
I think the issue is they're not whacking enough. There's this concept in private equity when you get a bankrupt company and you go in there, you cut 20% more than your initial read. And then you find like a pool of mercury, the organization gels back together again. Always cut deeper, harder when there's fat and waste. The FAA, it's not the people. The code is cobalt. It's from the 60s. It needs CapEx put into it for the technology to be upgraded to make it safer. Fat like a chicken. All of these agencies are like big fat chickens dripping over barbecues of fat. This is the best barbecue I've ever seen, but I don't think it's happening fast enough. They're not cutting enough. Keep slashing, keep hacking while you have a 24-month mandate before the midterms. Cut, more cutting. Believe me, it's going to work out just great. Everybody should be happy about this.
Even people with the nuclear codes, cut them too?
Cut everything. Because if you don't see what they're doing and they can't show you that they're adding value, you whack.
And, people, like, it's funny how often when these attacks occur, the thing that they're accusing the administration of is what they are guilty of. They're saying that things are being done unconstitutional, but what they are doing is unconstitutional. They are guilty of the crime of which they accuse us.
That's always the first thing they do. He's in violation of the Constitution. They don't even know what they're talking. Well,
it's absurd.
Know. It's just a con job. It's a big con job. And they're so bad for the country, so dangerous and so bad. And the media is so bad. When I watch MSNBC, which I don't watch much, but you have to watch the enemy on occasion, the level of arrogance and cheating, and they're just horrible people. These are horrible people.
They tell conspiracy theories.
We've got to talk about an interview today that Stephen Miller did with CNN about DOGE, of course. Of course, that's the big topic that mainstream media and Democrats want to rag on. I think mainly because a lot of these folks have some skeletons in their closet that is going to be connected with a lot of this wasteful spending, and they know this. Another thing is they have nothing else to talk about, right? Democrats are really on the ropes, and I'm not just saying that simply because I'm a Republican or, I want Democrats to lose. I genuinely believe that Democrats are on their way out. Like they don't seem to be changing course, and they just lost the popular vote and lost every single swing state to a guy that they demonized for years, gave completely uneven coverage, edited interviews, right, in favor of his opponent. Like, they tried everything, including, allegedly, sending a bullet in this man's direction, okay? Allegedly, of course. Well, I don't want nobody to call me a conspiracy theorist, okay? But, yeah, Stephen Miller went on CNN and absolutely embarrassed this lady here. I don't even know her name. Oh, Breonna Keller? Is it Keller or Kyler? I don't know. Anyway, absolutely embarrassed her, and that's what we're going to be checking out. So with that being said, let's dive in.
So who is in charge of DOGE?
The President of the United States.
He's the administrator of DOGE?
No, the DOGE is what was formerly U.S. Digital Services. It's an agency of the federal government that reports into the executive office of the president, which reports to the President of the United States.
Okay.
The way that Article 2 works is the president wins an election, and then he appoints staff, including myself, including Mike Waltz, including Susie Wiles, including Elon Musk, and those staff report to him.
Okay, well aware. So Elon Musk...
Absolutely hilarious. But that's also the thing that I don't think at least a lot of Democrats understand. DOGE isn't a new thing. That was already something that Trump just renamed to DOGE and appointed Elon the head of. So Trump didn't create anything like a new department, right? There was already a department there that had a similar kind of function, but obviously didn't do it very well. And you know who actually created it? Which is kind of funny. It was Obama. Yeah, a Democrat. A Democrat actually came up with that department. that, like I said, didn't do very well because obviously we have just continued to go further and further in debt. But it's quite interesting. And I've actually shown a few clips of Obama basically speaking in favor of DOGE. So that's actually quite hilarious when you think about it, because Democrats are ragging on Trump and Elon over DOGE and saying how terrible it is and blah, 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 you know, doing the whole acting gig. But in reality, it was their own Obama who started this department. Trump just improved upon it and has taken it to a whole nother level. But let's continue.
The U.S. government has $36 trillion in debt. The interest payments on the debt exceed the national defense budget. The American people are exhausted and tired of watching their tax dollars be corruptly spent, abused, wasted, and in every sense robbed and stolen from them. This president, for the first time in history, is committed to restoring accountability at every level of the federal government. You may assert there's no waste in the Pentagon. You may assert there's no waste in
Stephen,
Treasury.
I'm not
you may
asserting,
assert there's no waste in HHS.
That, Stephen, I don't think anyone...
Then why are you not celebrating these cuts? If you agree there is waste, if you agree there is abuse, if you agree there is corruption, why are you not celebrating the cuts, the reforms that are being instituted?
I'll tell you why, Stephen. It's because Trump is doing it. Had this had been Obama doing this, they'd all clap like a bunch of seals in a circus. You want to know how I know? Because Obama once talked about this stuff, and I've got the clips to prove it. Go check out my videos from yesterday, okay? Go check out my YouTube shorts. I've shown all these clips of Obama basically saying the same thing that Trump is saying. Now, Obama didn't really implement it the same way that Trump is. He didn't really go after it the way that he had promised. Trump is just living up to his promise. Trump is standing behind his words. He's standing on business. Obama just didn't stand on business. He said a lot of this. He bumped his gums a lot. He said all this stuff that Trump was saying, and not a single Democrat batted an eye at it. What do you know? And you know what's even crazier? Bill Clinton was saying the same stuff. Nobody said anything. You know who else, which is even crazier, you know who else was saying the same things not too long ago? Elizabeth Warren. And I played all of these clips so nobody can say that's misinformation or disinformation. I've got the footage. There's something called the internet, and once you put a video out there, it lives on forever. So while Elizabeth Warren and the rest of these Democrats try to scream Bloody Mary, they all were for this not very long ago. They're only against it simply because it's Trump. Well, that's the main reason. The other reason is I think a lot of them were getting some kickbacks. That money was circling back to their own pockets or somebody close to them's pockets. Spouse, right? Kids, relatives, a relative of some sort, maybe even a neighbor, business partner, some private equity fund. It was circling back to them in some way, shape, or form. Guarantee it. Guarantee it.
Every day that no action is taken, the entire
Stephen, let's calm
salaries
down.
of American workers that are taxed disappear forever.
Stephen, let's calm down.
This is
we're
not
having a debate.
There's no reason
about whether there are places.
You are clearly trying to debate me, and I will be as excited as I want to be about the fact that we are saving Americans billions of dollars, that we are ending the theft and waste and grift and corruption, that we are stopping American taxpayer dollars from subsidizing a rogue federal bureaucracy that has been relentlessly weaponized against the American people.
Okay,
you
Stephen,
may not care about
I'm
this
not
issue.
Talking about
your colleagues may
whether
not care about
there's
this
not
issue,
an area
but we care
to
about this
cut in
issue.
the
The
government. I
American
understand
people
that,
care about
Stephen.
this issue.
They also care about privacy.
And the American
so let me
public
ask you about
overwhelmingly
that.
supports what President
Stephen,
Trump is doing.
Let's talk about IRS data the DOGE will be able to access. You have DOGE asking for access to the IRS systems. This includes the integrated data retrieval system. I know you've talked about this a little bit. Will DOGE employees be able to access individual taxpayer ID numbers and social security numbers?
No. But also, keep in mind, you keep
Will
talking
they be able
about
to
DOGE
access
employees.
taxpayer bank account information?
They will not be able to access anything that any other appropriately authorized federal employee could access. When you keep talking about, quote, DOGE employees, you're just talking about federal workers. You're just literally talking about federal workers. Your question will be, can federal workers do their job? The job of the federal workers at the IRS is to prevent... Well, I'm telling you that is actually what you are asking. DOGE is part of the federal government. It is a term to describe the employees of the federal government who've been tasked with anti-fraud and anti-corruption activities. Again, you may not consider it a scandal that millions of illegal aliens are accepting and receiving taxpayer benefits. You might not consider it a scandal that millions of illegal aliens have stolen Social Security numbers and are committing rampant theft of American resources.
You say that you're looking at widespread fraud in the IRS data, and you mentioned yesterday, and you mentioned again here, illegal immigrants who are getting child tax credits. Are you looking for that information in the IRS data?
Anytime a crime is committed, of course there should be an investigation. Is it your position that if somebody who is
Stephen,
here
are you looking for that
is stealing
information in the
taxpayer
IRS
dollars?
data?
I love how he turned it around.
The federal government will find every illegal alien who is stealing American taxpayer dollars. And that is what Americans expect to happen.
Will you find that in the IRS
I don't
data
even
and
fathom
share
the
that with
premise
law
of your
enforcement?
question.
I love the way he's answering the question, because he's turning it around back on her, because she's trying to jump around the fact that there are illegal people, there are illegal immigrants in this country that are stealing taxpayer dollars. And she's trying to get on this train wagon of, oh, well, they're accessing it. They're accessing that information through the IRS. So she's trying to get to, so they can access people's personal data within, through the IRS system. That's what she's trying to do, so she can get him in a gotcha moment. But he's not going for it. He's turning the question back on her and like, hold on. So are you for illegal stealing taxpayer money? Which, of course, no American would be for that. So, hey, shout out to Stephen Miller, man. This is the way that Republicans should stand up to this ignorance coming from our mainstream media. This is the way that we should always respond to their stupid-ass questions. I'm sorry. Yeah, I curse because that's just what it is. These are the dumbest questions ever, all because they don't like Trump and Republicans. Have they ever questioned a Democrat in this fashion? I have watched clip after clip after clip of Democrats get on these networks and blatantly lie, and nobody says anything. I'm thinking of one Dana Bash host right now that just sat there, didn't say a single word, not a single word, while a Democrat just sat up there and lied, blatantly lied. Like it was obvious it was a lie. Didn't push back at all. Just sat there quietly. And they wonder why nobody believes them anymore. They wonder why their evaluations are continuing to tank. They wonder why their viewership is going in the gutter. And why people like myself and others that are independent media are becoming more and more popular. Like, it's completely obvious. Like, if Trump messed up, I'm going to say Trump messed up. That's a dumb decision, Trump. And I have said that. One recent example was the 1,500 pages that got cut down to 115. And I was like, no, I disagree with Trump. I would not sign off on that. 115 pages is still too much. I don't care if Trump said, hey, y'all, sign off on this for me. I agree with this one. I don't care if he said that, because I don't agree with that. That should have been cut down to less than 50 pages. 25 pages, if that.
A simple question. Will you find that information in the IRS data and share that with law enforcement?
If IRS investigators find illegal aliens stealing taxpayer money, of course they'll be referred to ICE. Of course they'll be referred to Homeland Security investigations. Of course they will be. Surely your position is not that we should let illegal aliens steal taxpayer dollars. Again, you want to talk about something to be upset about, that's it. What do you think? The millions of illegal aliens who've also stolen Social Security. Illegal aliens in mass have fake Social Security numbers. They have fake identities. Those are felonies. Why should there be an entire class in this country that is immunized from criminal prosecution and arrest for committing felonies? Felony theft of taxpayer information, felony theft of Social Security, felony theft of identity. These are all crimes. And yes, they will be investigated. Yes, they will be prosecuted. And yes, illegal aliens will be deported. And you know what happens when those deportations occur?
Just very quickly,
is that Americans will get jobs, Americans will get benefits, Americans will get houses.
Stephen, if they got a credit, a child tax credit, and they will be referred, you're saying, to ICE for that, and you would expect deported for that? Is that the position of the administration?
If it is found that a crime has been committed, they'll be referred. If it justifies the prosecution, they'll be prosecuted. If it justifies the deportation, they will be deported. This will be based on existing IRS protocols and procedures for criminal investigation and fraud.
All right,
the difference is that no one is given immunity anymore. No one is given permission to break the law anymore. Because this is not a country, this is not a sovereign territory. If illegal aliens can freely steal billions, with a B, billions of taxpayer dollars. And I would have to imagine that CNN, which is endlessly talked about the importance of democracy and the rule of law, would say that no class in this country should be above the law, least of all illegal aliens who've trespassed on our territory.
No, Stephen, I'm just asking, I wanted to get your position on some things. We're not taking a position here. We wanted to get some answers to some questions. There are so many questions that need to be answered.
It doesn't sound to me
Miller,
like you are, in
thank
fact,
you.
indifferent or unbiased on these questions, but thank you.
Stephen Miller, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate
Man, love Stephen Miller, man. Love Stephen Miller. Well done. Well done. Well done. And clearly biased. We're not taking a position here. Who the fuck believes that? Like, who are you kidding? We don't take any positions here. That's like when Jim Acosta went after Tim Burchett. It was like, this isn't Fox News. You can't just lie and pull the wool over people's eyes here. and like a week later, he quit. Goodness gracious, man. How sad are these news networks? How sad. Anyway, that's all I got for you for this one. Thanks for tuning in as always. Peace and love. I'm out.